A very good morning, class. Today we are here to talk about the Ashoka's region. How did Ashoka came to be known as the Great Ashoka, or the greatest king in the history of India? What all achievements were made by King Ashoka, and the basic changes, the basic revolution or reforms in his personality came after an important war named as Kalinga War. In the year 261 BC, he fought a war which was named as Kalinga War. And after seeing the bloodsheds, after seeing the destructions and a lot of pain, there was a bigger transformation into his personality. His personality was overall changed from a violent person to a non-violent journey that he traveled. It toward completely changed him. So we discuss about how did such changes were made in his personality, and how did he come closer to the religion, how did he come closer to the God. He started following Buddhism and took all the major steps to spread the religion. To spread the religion not only within the country, within the boundary of the country, but even to the outside. He, along with his ministers and council of ministers, took the helm and started portraying the image of Buddhism, good image of Buddhism, into the different parts of the world. He even carved out the inscriptions on rocks and pillars in the Brahmi script, and which was written down in the Prakrit language, the common language, the language which was spoken by the masses during that time. He used that. So first we'll begin with the principles of Dhamma Vijaya, or the principles of Dharma by Ashoka. There are 5 principles. The first one is people should live in peace and harmony. See, every religion teaches more or less the same thing. Same was the concept with the Dhamma Vijaya. The first principle that everyone will ask to, that we should live in peace and harmony. There should not be any warfare, there should not be any bloodshed around, but a mental peace and a physical peace is the need. Secondly, they should show respect and tolerance to all, irrespective of caste, creed or religion. Everyone should respect the other. If we want to live in a society, we must maintain a brotherhoodness. We must respect and obey the other caste. Thirdly, they should respect their elders. So this is what the principle is taught to us. If you want to, if you wish to go on the path of the religion, the first lesson it teaches us that we must obey our elders, we must respect them. Fourthly, masters should be kind to their servants. Now, 2 words are here, master and servant. The word master here means the king. The king should be kind to their servant. Servant means not the basic servants or domestic servants. It is related to the people or the masses, the citizens of the country. Because the kingship is there, the king is ruling the masses. So the king should be kind to their servants or to their publics. And the last thing, people should follow ahimsa and not kill any living being. They should not kill any being, they should not hurt anyone. That is what the ahimsa teaches us. Non-violence is the basic principle of ahimsa. See, the etiquettes or the qualities of a good king is that whatever he wants his public or his citizens to follow, first and foremost he follows on his own. Same was the case with Ashoka, and that is another important reason why he was known to be the greatest king in the history of India. That whatever he wanted to be preached or whatever he wanted to be practiced, he practiced on himself first. Then he asked his publics, then he asked his masses to practice. So, Ashoka practiced Dhamma in his own life and in ruling his kingdom. First, he practiced the religion, the philosophy of Buddhism onto his own, and when he came with the conclusion that this religion depicts several messages, then he followed, or he asked the subjects to follow him. He discontinued warfare and undertook many welfare measures. Now, after the Kalinga War, there was a great revolution, there was a great reform in the personality of Ashoka, of which the warfare was ended and the welfare began. Now, different welfare works were practiced by He had roads, wells, rest houses, canals constructed. For the comfort of travelers, he planted fruit-bearing trees along the roads, especially the Royal Highway connecting Patliputra with Taxila in the northwest. So what he did, he started looking for the welfare of his subjects. He has started constructing roads, dams, so that the people of the citizens can be helped out. He even constructed hospitals for a better treatment. And in the midway of the road, he planted fruit-bearing trees so that it may give the fruit as well as the shadows to the people or to the passers-by. Now next, what all steps or what all efforts he made to spread the religion, spread the Dhamma. Okay. Ashoka issued edicts or royal orders. When a king gives the command, that is a royal order. Ashoka issued royal orders to spread the message of Dhamma. He had his edicts engraved on pillars and rocks and set up in public places all over the empire. The first and foremost work that he did, he started carving out, writing down on the pillars and the rocks so that the people could read and understand. Those who were literate enough, they could understand what is written and what is the main meaning of, or what is the main theme of this religion. Now, he used the common language of the people. That was Prakrit. During that time, Prakrit was the common language on which the inscriptions were written down, and the Brahmi script was used. Brahmi script was used. He even appointed council of ministers to look after the dharmantras or to look after the Buddhism policy, whether it is followed in the right path or not. So his ministers who were given the responsibility, they were called as dharmantras. Dharmantras, ministers for the welfare of the religion policy. Now Ashoka addressed himself as the father of his people. Now, king always reflects as the main member of the family life. He even addressed his people, he even addressed his subjects as a father. He considered himself as a father and others as his offspring or son, so that he could take the best care of them. Whatever was their requirement, that was fulfilled by the king. Ashoka himself told the kingdom to spread the message of Dhamma. Ashoka did not stop over here. When he distributed the powers, when he gave the powers to different, when he distributed tasks to different people, he even involved himself. He even became a part to impart the knowledge or spread the religious policy. So as class I shall put it till here. Next class we'll see how the Buddhist council and foreign invasions were taken on, or how did Ashoka along with himself took the help of his family members, like he took the help of his son Mahendra and his daughter Sanghamitra to spread the message of Buddhism to different parts of the world. Basically they toured to Sri Lanka to spread the religious policy of Buddhism. Some other areas that they went on, that was Greece, Syria, Central Asia. So questions are sometimes asked, name the places that were apart from India, which all places where the religious policy of Ashoka imparted. So the answer is Syria, Greece, Central Asia and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka part was basically taken care by the Ashoka's son, that is Mahendra, and daughter Sanghamitra. Thank you class. We shall see in the next class what the decline of the Ashoka. Thank you.